Welcome to Nightline. I'm Pastor Benny. Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, you're going to be blessed tonight. Let me tell you why. We've got some great guests from Miracle Hill. You're going to hear from Yolanda Campusano-Pilarte. I love that. She speaks la lengua del cielo. She really, the language of heaven. She really does. And Jake and Edmisten, he's with us. They're both from Miracle Hill. You're going to be learning. Most of us know about Miracle Hill in this area. You might be outside the viewing audience, but I'm here to tell you, we're going to tell you even more. Maybe things you didn't know. Also, our music tonight. Boy, do I get excited. Mercy. From Pastor Benny Presents. I've got Norman Band. You know, Norman joined Pastor Benny back several months ago, and he's on the guitar. He joins Phyllis and Lisa and myself every Sunday and Monday. But not only that, his beautiful daughter, Sybil, that's Blake's little girl now, I will tell you, homemaker and all, she's singing with Daddy, and I'm here to tell you, they're a beautiful couple, and they really are. Now, remember this, you may call our prayer partners anytime during the telecast. You see the number right down here on your screen, 864-244-1616. Give us a call. They're waiting on your calls. And they didn't come just to sit and look at a telephone. They're waiting for you to dial the number. And they want to pray with you. They want to encourage you. Again, it may be that you've been by yourself all day long, you know, and the phone didn't ring. The mailman or the mail lady came, and the only thing she brought was that letter that said occupant or resident. Didn't even have your name on it. No one's called your name today. I want you to know the Lord Jesus has called it many times over. And these prayer partners, they'll call your name and they'll pray with you, and they'll ask you, is there anything that we can pray with you about? But I do. I pray, I really do, that you will enjoy the program tonight. You're going to enjoy our guests. You're going to enjoy the music, and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. And I will tell you this, I don't know about you, but I can almost somewhere feel the cheer or the chill in the air. I'm cheering, yes, because seasons are changing, but I can almost feel the chill in the air, and I hope you can. Hey, tonight I want you to welcome from Miracle Hill Ministries. I've got Jake and Edmisten and Yolanda Pilarte. Welcome to you, folks.
Thank you so
we
much.
are so glad to have you. Welcome to
Thank you for having us.
Welcome to WGGS Television. And I think this is your first visit, is that right, for On Nightline?
It is.
That is correct.
All right.
Yes.
And you know, the thing that I just love, well, you know, I always love all of our guests, but the thing that's so precious about Yolanda is that she speaks the language of heaven. And we all know that's Spanish. And if you don't know Spanish, you better learn it if you plan to go there. Anyway, tell us all about what's going on at Miracle Hill. Everybody knows about your ministry. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it is a fabulous ministry. How long have y'all been in operation?
So Miracle Hill has existed since 1937. Started as a soup kitchen in downtown Greenville, South Carolina, and has grown from there. It's really kind of a holistic ministry, ministering to families, men, women, and children. But you know, now today we operate rescue missions across the upstate of South Carolina. We operate addiction recovery facilities, foster care, food ministry. We've fed over 1,000 families from the community last year with food box distribution and counseling, and so 80 plus years, and the Lord's just sustaining it stronger and stronger.
When we talk about missions, how many points of service would y'all have in the upstate? Do you even have an idea?
Well, we have 4 rescue missions, 2 here in Greenville, women and men, and then we have a rescue mission up in Spartanburg and another one in Cherokee County.
Wow.
But we have foster families all throughout the upstate. We have a food warehouse, we have transitional housing, and we have 8 thrift stores as well. So we are all over the upstate of South Carolina.
And so people, I know a lot of people donate clothing, I know furniture, and so many things. And you can really get some good deals and find some wonderful things if you'll visit Miracle Hill Ministries offices. I mean, they really do. And so since 1937, my gracious, that's we're looking at what, 85?
85 years, yes.
Yeah. Wow. And so, Yolanda, how long have you been part of Miracle Hill?
I've been almost 2 years this coming March.
Okay.
Part of the ministry. I've always loved Miracle Hill, and I never thought I would be working here, to be honest. I'm a thrifter at heart, and I love it. But when the opportunity came, and it was the right time for me and my family, we had no doubt that Miracle Hill was the choice for us.
Isn't that great?
Working for the kingdom, come on.
I know.
Cannot cannot get better than that.
You can't beat that, right?
Nope.
Absolutely. How long have you been working with them?
So this is
Jacob?
my 10th year, and my wife and I, we thought we were going to be on the mission field, maybe in Kenya, and was taking some Swahili, getting ready for that, and the Lord just had other plans. And so 10 years ago, we moved back to the Greenville area, and I love what we do, honestly. It's pure, just raw king and kingdom, meeting people where they are with the good news of Jesus and meeting their physical needs too.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it's amazing work.
Right. Do you find this time of the year, November, December, more exciting or the same as the rest of the 10 months? Because we're getting close to Christmas. People who have specific needs, particularly with children, kids are kids. I don't care if they're rich or poor, black or white, kids are kids. Do you find that more people are attentive to responding to your ministries at this time of the year?
Well, definitely, even though, Pastor Benny, let me break it to you.
Okay.
The same needs that we have throughout the holidays are the same needs we have all year round. So it's beautiful to see the response from the community. And we have amazing community partners and families that are committed to the kingdom, and we love that, and we're so thankful for that. But to be honest with you, the same needs that we're going to have for Thanksgiving and the holiday season, it's the same needs that we have in January. Toilet paper, fresh produce, and stuff like that.
So it's not just this part or this time of the year, but your needs never end. I mean, from January 1 through December 31, your needs are always there.
We care for more than 600 people daily throughout our missions.
Did you hear that? Say that again, please.
650, to be honest with you, every single day, whether that is through foster care, addiction recovery programs, or homeless shelters.
Wow. Sometimes you see the Miracle Hill trucks running around Greenville picking up furniture and things like that. The people that drive these trucks and vans and cars, are they part of Miracle Hill? Are they volunteers? Are they people who are homeless? They're staying in your shelters? Who would they be?
You want me to take that one? So we do have staff truck drivers who provide that service, but they actually ride in vehicles with some of our guests who are in our recovery programs, individuals that we call pre-programmers, our men's recovery program. And not only do those guys get to, kind of prove, hey, I want to be in this program. That recovery program is a 7-month-long, 12-step recovery program funded completely by individuals, businesses, churches, so people can come into our program, not pay anything, which is unheard of, right? Most people, their insurance or whatever, like they can't get in a program. Well, we're trying to lower any kind of prohibitor, inhibitor, anything that could keep somebody from getting their life together and changed. But those guys ride in those trucks with our truck drivers, and so they have opportunity to minister to them while they're going out picking up your refrigerator and your couch or whatever else you're trying to donate to us. And then obviously those donations get turned into mouthfuls of food for men, women, and children, and counseling and shelter, right?
And a question I've always wondered at your places of ministry, let's say someone gives a refrigerator, and let's say that it is not working quite as it should. Do y'all have people trained to know how to fix refrigerators and stoves and washing machines and all that?
It depends. If you got somebody working in the back room of one of the stores who can, then yes. But like everybody, it's hard to keep people right now. Staffing challenge. In fact, that's a call to this community. If you're looking for a job, we'd love to have you, especially if you fix refrigerators, right? But sometimes we have to put the old as-is sticker, sell it for cheaper, and let you fix it. But we do try to fix them when we can,
And so you get a lot of clothing. What right now, as of in November, what is your greatest need? I mean, I know, is it food? Is it clothing? I know it's all the above, but if there is one greater need, What would it be? I'm not trying to isolate anything, but what would it be?
Well, to be honest I would love to tell you two things, two important
Please,
things.
tell me.
Number one, as Jacob mentioned, we take nothing from the government. The Lord has been so faithful to us, and that's a big, big thing for us. So financial donations are always helpful, and that can turn into anything. I mean, as I told you, we serve more than 600 people daily. Right. However, coming up this November 22nd, we're going to have the biggest community feeding of the upstate of South Carolina, and that's our turkey fry.
Oh my.
We're going to fry at the Spartanburg Rescue Mission, which is our rescue mission up in Spartanburg. 600 plus turkeys.
Whoa.
In one day, one big thing, one big stretch since 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning until it's done. And we're going to
look at that picture. Keep talking. Yes.
Yes. And we're going to serve more than 5,000 people in the community.
My.
Through our rescue missions, through community partners, through churches. And it's not only the turkey, it comes with the sides too. So it's a full meal for the whole family to enjoy. Yeah. And that blesses our hearts so much because as he said, we get to see firsthand those people hungry, not only for a meal, but for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Amen. And we get to witness to them, love on them, serve them well, kids, wives, everyone. It's a beautiful time.
Now, when you go, you'll take your son, I think? Yep.
Well, I don't know if he'll be coming with me. I do have a 3-year-old that he would be very excited to come, yes.
Well, do you have kids, Jacob?
I have 4 little boys.
Okay. Yeah. Will they be with you or one of them? Or?
So the day of at the turkey fry, we can have some age restrictions just because if you think about it, you've got, 80 fryers out there and, people blow up their house with one deep fryer. Yes. So we do restrict age-wise, but there are opportunities. You can go on our website, and children over a certain age, it's really 12 and older.
Okay, that's what we need to hear, 12 and older. Okay.
There are opportunities. If you wanted to come and serve a meal this holiday season, you could reach out to our volunteer coordinators, and they'd love to orchestrate that for you and your family if it's something that we can accommodate.
Right. Yeah. This will be Thanksgiving Day.
The Tuesday of Thanksgiving week.
The Tuesday of Thanksgiving, I'm thinking that's
the
like
22nd.
The 22nd of November. Okay, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but that will be, and this is annualized?
This is the 16th year we've been doing that. So we've been serving the community in a great way for 16 years now. Yeah. And to be honest with you, and I would love to bring this up, if you have any questions about our turkey fry, if you go onto our website, that's miraclehill.org/events, you're going to see all the information that you need for volunteers, if you want to make a financial donation, or if you even want to purchase a turkey and just bring it to us so we can prep it.
Yeah, we do need turkeys.
We do.
We need
turkeys. Now, folks, you saw the address on your screen there. I would think if you're going to feed 5,000, Jesus did that, but of course, he had the touch. We don't have that touch that he had. The little boy just brought him 12 little fish and some loaf breads, and he boom, 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 and he
5,000.
And their families, Yeah. So, but what we need from you is, how many turkeys did you want?
600 plus. So we do need turkeys. We do need turkeys.
You want them dead or alive?
We want them frozen.
Frozen, you hear that?
So our big drop-off weekend is November 11th and 12th. So we will be receiving all those turkeys at our food warehouse, which is on Keith Drive.
It is.
And Greenville, and then at the Spartanburg Rescue Mission. We need them frozen, yes.
You heard that. Don't tell your turkeys that, but you heard that. We want them frozen. And for drop-off, tell me those dates again. November
11th and 12th. That's a Friday and a Saturday.
Okay. And what a way, what an investment you can make. Come on. We're all blessed. We are. Why couldn't you just go purchase a turkey and go by and drop it off? And someone's going to be nourished because of your generosity. That's got to be a lot of fun when you start cooking. I mean,
it's a lot of fun.
Are you a cook?
I do, but not the turkeys though. I'm a cook at home.
She's a great cook.
Listen, anybody that is Latina
can cook.
Claro que sí. I mean, surely they can. It's delicious, and I'm here to tell you. But you'll be there on that day?
I will be there representing the ministry, taking pictures and helping feed the community. We have different volunteer opportunities that day, so it's going to be wonderful. It's a lot of fun.
So people could come, and if they wanted to volunteer, down the road, not just that day, but down the road, months, weeks to come, years to come, would there be booths, or would there be someone who identifies as a volunteer coordinator that people could visit while they're there?
Yeah, so they could speak to the people, right at the front table when you come in and get more information about how to volunteer. Right. The best way to find out about like day-to-day recurring volunteer opportunities is just on the website, miraclehill.org. And if you go on there and you click, how you can help, there's a little drop down. It says volunteer, and you can actually kind of shop through volunteer needs.
Okay.
So you can go, you know what, I have 2 hours on Wednesdays. I'd love to answer phones. And that doesn't sound glamorous, but if you think about Miracle Hill, the work that we do,
oh my,
that person is a dispatcher, a life-saving dispatcher. Yeah. I mean, on New Year's Eve last year, had a gentleman call. It was 5 p.m. Everybody was going home to celebrate with their family, and this gentleman called and he said, if I don't get somewhere tonight, I have an addiction problem. He said, if I don't get somewhere tonight, I may die. And he was sincere. Yeah. He was begging just for someone to answer the other side of the phone with hope that there's life. Right. And so if you want to volunteer and do something like that, there are those needs. You can find them on our website. Right. But yeah, there's all kind of needs that day to serve too. And not all the jobs are glamorous. Some of them are messy. Sure. I'm on the bones crew, so part of my job is just to dispatch bones all day. But I love it. And you'll smell like turkey for a month and a half. Yep. It's great work.
I mean that's all right. But I'm fascinated with your ministry. I know you are, and I want you to stand by, because we're going to be coming back to Yolanda and Jacob in just a moment. But right now, from Pastor Benny Presents, Norman Band, you'll know him very well, and his beautiful daughter, Syble Phillips. They're singing, That's How I Know. Come on, folks, lead us.
The earth is dry, he sends forth the rain. When my heart is broken, he eases my pain. His mercies are new every day, and his grace is sufficient, come what may. That's how I know God is love. He pours out his blessings from his storehouse above. He sends the rain, eases my pain, blesses me over and over again. That's how I know God is love.
God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, my soul to save. Whosoever will may come and dine,
feast at his table, and you will find. That's how you know God is love. He pours out his blessings from his storehouse above. He sends the rain, eases your pain, blesses you over and over again. That's how you know God is love. His blessings unfolding, in his heart he is holding my hopes and my dreams. Every moment it seems his loving kindness ever true. In every storm he'll see me through. Life's wind and floods may rage at me, with his voice he'll calm the sea. God sends us forth into the world. Go to all the nations, till everyone has heard of his awesome, abundant, amazing love that he freely offers from his storehouse above. That's how I know God is love. He pours out his blessings from his storehouse above. He sends the rain, eases my pain, blesses me over and over again. That's how I know God is love. That's how I know God is love.
folks, you don't see it. We've got the best counters in the state here at WGGS Television. Autumn, that was wonderful. Thank you so much, honey. We're talking. Listen, I hope you're learning as much as I'm learning, because I'm talking with Jacob Edmisten and Yolanda Pilarte from Miracle Hill Ministries. And I'm drinking all this up. And you're going to have a chance. You can volunteer. You can call. You see those Miracle Hill trucks and those people around all the time. We were talking right before Norman and Sybil came to sing about your foster care program. And I don't know that all of our viewers or people understand that you have a foster care program. I'm going to put it into your hands. Talk to us about that, folks, both of you, if you would.
Yeah, so we have a child placing agency.
Okay.
So we basically partner with the Department of Social Services here in South Carolina, and they help us find the best fit for the kids that they have under their care.
Right.
And we partner with our foster parents. They go through the whole process with us. We train them. We give them hope through prayer.
Right.
And that's a wonderful, wonderful ministry. So these foster parents take under their wing these kids that come from very traumatic situations, sometimes
Sure.
being neglected, and they fill them up with the love of Jesus. They give them hope. It is quite a journey. In fact, Jacob can talk into it because he was a foster parent and ended up adopting one of his kids.
Tell me about that. Tell me.
Yeah. So we actually have an interesting situation. My brothers and sisters fostered the siblings of my foster son. Does that make sense? So they're like cousins now. We joke that we've messed them up real good. That's like my brother cousin over there. But no, they get to see each other all the time. And, and that was the point, to keep them together. But in our situation, without digging into too many details, we have adopted, but our son's fourth generation foster care out of Spartanburg County. And you do the math on that, that's an open case with DSS since the 70s.
Yes.
And we see a lot of cyclical, just brokenness sometimes. You know, it's hard to escape a situation. And so this was the case we were involved in, was kind of a landmark case in the upstate. But, you know, it's been amazing to watch our son grow and thrive. And that year, he was one of 500 children that Miracle Hill served between our group facilities and foster care at the time.
So are you saying that you would have probably interacted with, say, 500 different foster homes? Am I reading that correctly?
Well, go ahead.
Not necessarily, but a lot of foster homes throughout that year, right?
Yeah, well, and a lot of those families have sibling groups, right? So we just had we've had a couple of groups come in recently where it's sibling groups of 2, 3, 4, you know, and
teenagers.
Lots of teenagers. This past year we served 375 children.
Wow.
In 1 year.
Wow.
And so, you know, our first goal really is to reunite children with their biological families in a healthy household. You know, every child longs for mom and dad.
Sure.
And it's interesting that even though you've been through trauma and maybe neglect, or maybe you have never really known them, your heart still longs to be with mom and dad. And so past that, our goal is then to, you know, if it's not going to be getting them back in the biological home, it would be to place them with a forever family, Christian forever family. And that's our specialty, really, is recruiting Christians in the church and placing children into Christian homes, because we believe the call of Christ, you know, James 1:27, that we care for the orphan and the widow.
That's
and
correct.
We take it literally.
What real religion is.
Yeah, and so we want to challenge the church too. The state needs foster families right now.
Right now, we're 2,300 foster families short in the state of South Carolina.
2,300 families, foster families short. We're needing 2,300 for the state.
For the state of South Carolina, and as our CEO always mentions, if every church, not in the whole South Carolina area, in the upstate, has one family that would be a great fit to be foster parents, the gap will be closed. Just one family per church, right?
Yeah.
I think Jacob said something very interesting. The whole purpose, if you have not been in contact with foster kids or the foster program, the whole purpose of fostering is reunification. In fact, we make an effort, as the biological parents are up to, up for, to have a communication. It's a team effort for the best decisions for this child or these children.
Right.
And in the past summer, we were able to
Reunify.
That's a hard word.
Indiana.
15 kids. 15 kids got to be again with their biological parents, and that's a big blessing.
Oh,
that's
wow.
a huge blessing.
So I don't think our viewers I didn't realize this at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so the kids that you have you have 4, I think, Jacob.
I do.
Just one would
One is fostered and then adopted.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then, like I said, my siblings fostered and adopted some of his siblings. But he's actually from a larger sibling group than that. So the pastor of my church, he and his wife adopted one of the children. Other close friends have adopted. So that these children get to see each other on occasion. It's I say this all the time, but I love the holistic nature of the ministry that goes on at Miracle Hill.
Yeah.
Some cool stories I could tell you. We had a young lady go through our women's renewal program. And I remember at her graduation, she's been in this program for 7 months, right?
Right.
And our director stood up on the stage and she said, before this next lady comes up, I want to say, I knew her before I knew her. And the audience is all like, what's she talking about? And she says, her twin sister came through our program. Not that long ago, her twin sister came through our program and we hit our knees praying for this sister who was wandering in the wilderness, just wrestling with addiction. Well, that sister, the young lady who got up there to graduate, she went on to tell her story that night, and she said that while she had been in addiction, that one of her children, she had a child prematurely. And the child here locally was in the hospital, and the child was taken from her because she was hooked on drugs at the time.
Right.
The nurse providing that child's care ended up being a Miracle Hill foster parent.
Oh my.
Who fostered that child.
Oh my.
And mom and her twin sister had gone through the recovery program and graduated, and that child had been adopted. This was years later, and that child was there that night with the Miracle Hill adoptive mom, watching his mother graduate from a recovery program. You see generations restored, and that's what I mean by holistic. If that little child, if we don't share the light of Christ with that child today, that child may be graduating one of our programs, if they're fortunate, 15 years from now, or they may not. And so our hope is to shine the light of Christ into all these different parts of people's lives, whether they're men, women, or children.
I'm fascinated listening to all this because I did not realize that, and I don't think a lot of our viewers do, that foster care is part of your ministry. And maybe you did, but I certainly didn't, and I commend you for that. But all of this, folks, remember that when you give to Miracle Hill, it is more than just giving a gift. You're investing, okay? You're investing in eternity. You're investing in small children, older children. You're investing in families. And you're doing the investment all in the name of Jesus Christ. This has to be one of those jobs that you look forward to every morning when you get up. I'm sure you have your ups and downs. We all do, but to know that you're making such a mark, an indelible mark in the community, and on the lives of kids and parents, I salute you with that. We've been talking about frying the turkeys and all the trimmings. And I bet that smells so good.
Oh, yes.
It's amazing.
And most of us don't eat fried turkey. I love fried turkey. So if I want to have fried turkey on Thanksgiving or the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, I need to come to Miracle Hill.
You could probably snag you a taste,
Ooh, yeah, I would love to do it. What is, I need to know this from both of you, what is y'all's greatest challenge at Miracle Hill Ministries?
Do you want to go first?
You go first. Take it away.
Ladies first. Go ahead.
Thank you. I think the greatest challenge right now is to cultivate the younger generation, to cultivate those values that we have as a ministry, to cultivate that compassion. For instance, you mentioned my son, right? We have different events throughout the year. And every time we have an event where kids can be a part of, I say, this is the exact time to teach compassion and empathy, how to care for that invisible neighbor that we all have, that person experiencing homelessness or food insecurity. It's a great time to teach those things. So I work in public relations, so I work in outreach and, you know, get to know more the community. And that is my personal biggest challenge right now, to be appealing to those younger folks that perhaps don't have the capacity right now because they're busy with their schedules or so forth. But they need to know about the ministry. They need to know what you said, that this is an investment for the kingdom. And to teach those little ones that are in school right now how to care for their neighbor, how to be compassionate towards each other, how to show Jesus' love.
Jacob, from your perspective.
Yeah, I agree with what Yolanda said. I do think that it's about engaging a younger generation, making them aware. You know, kind of our key demographic right now for donors and supporters is, it seems to be 55 and up. And you know, and we have a lot of younger folk who are stepping up and standing in the gap and beginning to kind of to fill that role. But we want to engage more and more that younger generation. I do think religious liberty continues to rear its head. You know, we are a Christ-centric organization. You know, our core values are Christ-centered, compassion, integrity, and growth. And we will never not share the gospel. And oftentimes, you know, a lot of the social welfare programs that you see out there that take government funding, they have restrictions on them.
Yes, they do.
You cannot just throw the name of Jesus around or require that someone, you know, sit through a chapel service or and that's a part of what we do still. And I know to some that thinking may be archaic, but what we don't want to do is hand a man a loaf of bread, but not tell him about the bread of life. We believe that we could serve you and condemn you at the same time if we don't share the good news of Jesus with you. And so while it's one of our greatest challenges, I think it's also one of the greatest opportunities for the church to go, you know what, we value the gospel so much that we want to share it with people who are in great need and not shy away from that. And so it's a great opportunity for us to stand up as a church today and go, no, we will express the gospel.
You know, I'm thinking, you know, about all that. Do you ever have a need for Bibles, let's say? I mean, because so many people coming in and out. Is there a need for Bibles?
Especially for study Bibles, I would say.
Yes.
Where folks always need or want study Bibles, so that would be a great gift.
And I want to ask you, Yolanda, going to a song in just a moment. Being Hispanic, are you finding that there is a small or larger population of Hispanics that have a need through Miracle Hill?
I think the need is there. But just the way our culture is, we take care of our peoples. It is it is very difficult for a family to admit that they need help, especially because they're coming from a third world country into America. But there is a need, and we're working very hard to engage with that community to build a trust, and they can understand that even if we don't speak the language, we share the gospel. That's all. It's all about the gospel. Just like Jacob said, if you take Jesus out of the equation, we're wasting our time.
Absolutely. And you know, the wonderful thing is, by not taking government money, you are not beholden a government that can give you anything, take anything away. You know, and by the very fact that you're beholden to the Lord Jesus Christ, you know, Paul says that He will meet our every need according to the riches in Christ Jesus.
Amen.
He's going to meet those needs, and you know, even when you think we don't have a dime remaining, somehow or another, He comes through.
Oh, we've seen it. Firsthand. We see miracles every single day.
Every day, honestly.
I mean, you know, and maybe Miracle Hill, that would make it, I mean, that just kind of sweetens the pot every time you hear that, doesn't it? I mean, but I hope you're listening, because there's so many of you who can make an investment, okay? Your church can make an investment. I know I served as an interim pastor in a church that makes an investment to Miracle Hill Ministries every month, and your church could do that. You know, we're talking with these sweet people from Miracle Hill. We're going to be right back with Yolanda and and Jacob. But right now, Norman Band is going to sing Breathe the Freedom. All right, Norman, come on.
Everyone take a deep breath and hold it and let it out. Are you breathing in freedom today?
I forgot about this.
With Jesus,
that
we can
our
breathe in
website
freedom.
is now translated to Spanish.
Great.
I need to.
Yes.
The call goes out to any who will heed the call to life abundantly. Whosoever will may drink from his well. Ask me what I know, and I'm free to tell. I breathe in freedom. He is the reason. He poured out his life so I could breathe. Breathe in freedom, sweet air of freedom. He washed me from sin, cleansed me within. I breathe in freedom. Once I was lost, but now I'm found. I once was blind, but now I see. Sin had a grip on me, then he turned me around. Once was enslaved, but now I'm free. I breathe in freedom. He is the reason. He poured out his life so I could breathe in freedom, sweet air of freedom. He washed me from sin, cleansed me within. I breathe in freedom. He poured out his life so I could breathe. Breathe in freedom, sweet air of freedom. He cleansed me from sin, filled me within. I breathe in freedom. Come breathe in freedom, sweet air of freedom. Be washed from your sin, cleansed from within. Breathe in freedom, sweet air of freedom. Breathe in freedom.
Listen, prayer partners are standing by. Many of you have called this evening already. We want to encourage you to go ahead and call again and again, 864-244-1616. I hope you're enjoying the program. I'm learning. I'm more of a sponge than a host tonight. We're talking to Yolanda Pilarte and Jacob Edmisten from Miracle Hill Ministries. I'm learning so very, very much. We were just talking about the website, and I understand it's now in Espanol.
It is in Spanish. That is a big deal right now. So if you are part of the Hispanic community and you have questions about our services or anything that we do as a ministry in the upstate, please visit our website, miraclehill.org. You're going to see in the lower left corner, you're going to see that translation button, and you can click that, and you'll see our whole page translated. It's a great resource for the community.
It really is, and you know what? Compile that rapidito, dile en español.
Para la comunidad hispana que nos está viendo, nos encanta que sean parte de nuestro ministerio. Si tienen cualquier pregunta acerca de lo que nosotros hacemos y de los servicios que ofrecemos a la comunidad en el upstate de Carolina del Sur, por favor visita nuestra página web miraclehill.org, miraclehill.org, y ahí vas a encontrar toda la información en tu idioma. Solo tienes que dar clic a la parte de abajo, a la parte inferior de la izquierda, y ahí vas a encontrar toda nuestra información.
You see, what's so important, folks, is that whether we realize that even in our area we do live in more of a bilingual culture and community, becoming more so, and I commend you for putting that not just in English but in Spanish, because that is so necessary. Even people maybe listening tonight to Christian television, maybe they're not speaking that much English, but their native language is Spanish. I'm wanting them to hear that. So you hear that you can go, of course it's in English, but if you speak Spanish and that's your language, you can go there. Tell me about this app. Now I like this. Now I want you to listen out there, because this is really important for people like yourself and for people like me who are really technical. If I get my grandkids, they'll get it for me in 10 seconds. But tell us about the app, Jacob, if you would, please.
Yeah, I will. So this is kind of breaking news here. You heard it first.
Okay.
But one thing that we have in development right now is we want to have an app for multiple reasons, but one, to be used as a tool or a ministry resource kit for kind of your average individual, your average church member, or someone who goes, I see people on the street, maybe I encounter them, maybe I have a relative who's wrestling with addiction. I have a cousin who was wrestling with addiction for 10 years.
Wow.
And went through Miracle Hill's Overcomers program and has been clean and is married and has children. He's been clean for 5 years. And I would have loved to have had a resource, to go, what is that place called, and look it up. But we are developing this app that will give you kind of at the touch of your fingertips. It doesn't have to be on your main page, right? It can be a couple pages over.
Right.
But a Miracle Hill app where if you encounter someone and you really feel like they're in need, you have resources at your fingertips. So you could open up the app and it'll be an option that says, I'm helping someone or I need help. And if you're helping someone, there will even be the possibility for you to just hold up a QR code for them to scan, because most individuals who are experiencing homelessness, they have phones. Most of them have smartphones.
Yes.
They could scan that and have all the resources right there available at their fingertips, including phone numbers, addresses, times to check in. Sometimes you go, well, what time do I get there so I can get a bed? All really, really crucial things that you wouldn't know unless you had that app. And so our hope is when we're speaking at churches, when we're speaking on shows like this, next time, hopefully if we get to come back, maybe we can share that QR code with your audience and they can download that app right there while they're watching.
The next time, absolutely.
But we want to empower the community, and also on there we want to share stories too of redemption, so that the donor, the volunteer, the average church member can see, hey, this is the work going on there. But not only that, so that the person who's in need of our assistance can go, hey, that's me. My life can change.
Right.
Psalm 107 says, let the redeemed of the Lord say so, right? Or tell their story. And we're telling lots of stories about the redeemed.
You were talking and brought in homelessness. Now, when those of us, all of us here who live in the upstate, when we hear homelessness, we think, oh, those poor people in New York or Miami or Atlanta or Los Angeles. But homelessness is right here.
It is.
And help us understand, navigate us through homelessness in the upstate of South Carolina, because many of our folks would be surprised to hear this, I think.
Well, you want to take that one?
Sure. So most of the homelessness is concentrated in around your larger cities. So most of the homelessness is in Greenville, as are most of the resources for people to get assistance. Miracle Hill particularly, Yolanda kind of listed them off. We have 4 rescue missions that we run across the upstate. One's in Gaffney, in Cherokee County. We call it the Cherokee County Rescue Mission, the Spartanburg Rescue Mission, and the Greenville Rescue Mission, and Shepherd's Gate, which is Women's and Children's Facility. To give you an idea of the number of people that we're serving on a regular basis, Gaffney, we see smaller numbers up there. You know, they may have 45 people there in a night, but in Spartanburg, it's around 96, around 100 people, men, women, and children. We have some children.
Who are homeless.
Who are homeless.
Yes.
Who are homeless, who have nowhere that they can call home. You know, the school systems in and around South Carolina, they also file a report every year where they will classify a child as homeless if they're residing in a car or they're residing in a different home night to night. Maybe their families are couch surfing. They have no stable housing. And those numbers are astounding if you saw them, the thousands of individuals that they classify as homeless children. But we watch babies grow up in our rescue missions. We have ladies who are pregnant in a rescue mission who will go to have their child, and when they bring their baby home, the baby's home is a rescue mission. Praise God that there's a place like that can accommodate them and their little one. But can you imagine?
No, I can't.
In fact, our women's shelter here in Greenville, it's called Shepherd's Gate, and it opened its doors on Valentine's Day, 1993. And the very first night they opened the shelter, a baby boy was born in the facility that night. And if you're out there,
contact us.
Yeah, we would love to tell your story if you're out there. But those individuals working that night had to help deliver that baby. Can you believe it?
Wow.
So in Greenville, we have enough beds for 142 men and 50 plus beds for women and children at our Shepherd's Gate facility. But on cold weather nights, we throw up a white flag and we may have hundreds of more people come into our care.
You know, when I retired several years ago, but I pastored in Greenville and at Eastland Church years ago, and it's a big facility. And we kept noticing day after day in the trash can, the custodians would empty. They'd say, "What did y'all have here last night?" Well, we said, "Well, we had nothing." Why? They said, "Well, the trash can was almost full and I emptied it before I left last night." Long story short, for 10 days, a lady and her 2-year-old child lived in the church where I served. And we didn't know they were there. Okay? I mean, in our gymnasium, we had shower facilities. The showers would be wet the next morning. And it was when we finally located them, we had some who said, "Call the police." I said, "Absolutely not. Absolutely not." They came over and took the lady and her child over there. It sure did, yeah.
Wow.
And I presume they got back on their feet. I mean, we put people in our congregation who stayed in touch with them, and that's all I'm... But again, homelessness is a real problem. Okay, it's not with the numbers as we know in New York and places like that.
Well, it's big here. You know, there are two things that I learned working for the ministry. Number one, homelessness can happen to anyone.
Wow.
And when I say anyone, it could be either of us here in this room today.
Yeah, it could.
We've had cases of people that are professionals, very well educated with stable jobs, but they get sick and they cannot work anymore. And then it starts. It's like this big snowball that starts rolling in situations with their family, and they end up in our shelters, and they just need that encouragement, that guidance to get back on their feet. And going back to the app, if we have some seconds, I would love to share this with you.
Please do, yes.
First thing I came to know when I came to Miracle Hill was that homelessness can happen to anyone.
Okay.
And the second thing is that sometimes we act thinking that we're helping someone in need when we're not. And I think that's where the ad comes handy. For many years, and again, going back to my country, you see people asking for money and food in the streets, and I'm thinking, well, they need some bread, they need some food, they need some money. And that may not be the best act, especially here in South Carolina. That is called toxic charity. And basically what toxic charity means is doing for someone else what that person can do for themselves.
Right.
So instead of money, and again, you do whatever your heart desires. But to be honest with you, pointing that person towards stability the first step would be to share that app, to share that phone number, that address, where that person can get the help that they need. Because we do nothing if we feed them a meal a day, and the next day, where are they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you find, or do you have what I would call any permanent residents in your facilities or your program?
Well, actually, for people that graduate any of our programs and they're in good standing, they can opt to live in our transitional housing. So we have transitional houses for every single facility.
That's great.
Right now, 16 transitional housing in very good neighborhoods. Because this is what happens. You get back on your feet. You're not addicted to anything. You're in recovery. But guess what? Affordable housing is needed.
Yes.
So you go back to those low-income neighborhoods, and you can be triggered by the people there.
Sure.
So we really want to make our people feel comfortable, and that we want to give them all that we can so they can succeed. So these transitional housing are very, very good for them because they have accountability partners.
Yes.
They go to celebrate recovery. This is close to churches and jobs and so forth. So we do have some type of, maybe not permanent, but they can stay there
Longer
up to
term.
2 years.
Yeah.
Long term.
Yeah. We hope that it's not permanent. The hope is to give them a hand up
Sure.
and not just a handout. But yeah, great answer.
Would you, would your program be that in the mornings that people who overnight there, if they're without a job, that at 8 o'clock, 8:30, you've got to go. You've got to go job hunting. You can come back at 4:30 this evening. Is there something like that in the works that you have?
There is. So they all are assigned a counselor. When you come into the rescue mission, you kind of pick the track that you want to go on. You can either say, hey, I'm here for 3 hots and a cot, you know, the old adage. And if they do that, then they've got basically 30 days.
Okay.
But if they want to go into experience life change, they can sign up for a longer program. They meet with a counselor. If they don't have a job outside the facility, then they have a job inside the facility, whether it's security or cleaning or cooking. But yeah, we do have that because we want people to, like I said, a hand up. We want them to get up. Yeah.
Not a hand down. I hope you're enjoying the program tonight because you're hearing more about the ministry at Miracle Hill. Hey, right now, from Pastor Benny Presents, Norman Band and his precious, beautiful daughter, Syble Phillips. Listen to this as they sing Fountain Medley. Come on, folks.
There is a fountain filled with blood drawn from Emmanuel's veins, and sinners plunge beneath that flood, lose all their guilty stains, lose all their guilty stains, lose all their guilty stains, and sinners lost beneath that flood, lose all their guilty stains. There's a stain in my heart only God can erase. Only by His grace I am made whole. There's a stain in my heart only God can replace with the cleansing power of His blood. Dear dying Lamb, your precious blood shall never
stain in my heart. Only God can erase, only by